but I need this just to make sure that things are okay. As if our finances are going to determine if the God in heaven allows us to be okay or not. Right? And here Paul is saying, I'm going to meet your needs. I promise. God will meet your needs. And so this is our reality. And I do wonder if we believe it. I wonder if I believe that. Because if we don't, we miss out on the next thing. We miss out on the fourth thing, that blessings will come. Blessings will come. This is what it says in verse 10 as he's encouraging these Corinthian believers. He says this, now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge your harvest of your righteousness. There's a couple of things to note in this one verse right here. Number one, it shows that God provides the seed. It's his. Right? And so in other words, like everything that we have, it's been provided by him. Our Hope group talked about this a little bit on last Sunday. We addressed the reality that like the money that we have is God's. And our tendency, all of us, our tendency like might be to hesitate, like man, I don't want to give, like last week we were talking about tithing, like give 10%? Are you kidding me? But if we flip it on its script a little bit, right? And the reality is it's all God's and he allows us to keep 90% of it. Well, that's a different way of looking at it. Right? And so we see like right off the get-go, now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed. Like it's his and he's going to provide for you. But the second thing that we see in this one passage is that when we have a posture of generosity, blessings come. Now, understand this. It may not be financial. It may not be financial. But I know that it says there's a promise of blessing. And though it may not mean more digits in your bank account, it might mean less. It might mean that you don't get to buy certain things. You don't get to lead a certain lifestyle. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a promise. All throughout Scripture, there's a promise of blessing. So maybe the blessing looks a little different. Maybe the blessing that you get to reap from sowing a life of generosity, maybe the blessing is a family who gets to eat dinner at home together. Maybe a life you get to impact other people with the gospel. Maybe God has laid a burden on your heart and it just has become your passion. And you once lived without purpose and meaning, and now because you've given your life to Jesus, you understood what he has done for you. Like now we live with a passion and blessing comes through that. Right? Maybe it's a coworker who you once you were like butting heads and angry with all of the time, but now like you have become deep and meaningful friends. Like this is these are the blessings that come. The blessings are all around us. Raise your hand if in the past 7 days you've had at least one bad day. That's probably all of us, right? And if you're like me, I can focus on that bad day. I can tell you all about the reasons why I was in a bad mood or still am because of that day that was 6 days ago. Still am in a bad mood. Don't bring it up, right? But the reality is, the blessings in my life, and I'm going to step out and venture to say if we look hard enough, no matter what situation we are in, the blessings that are in your life, oh my goodness, they far outweigh the difficulties and the strains. And 99.99% of those blessings, if we're going to be real, have nothing to do with our money. It's the people we're with. It's the community we're in. It's the people that would give us the shirt off their back. That's the blessing. The TV, not so much. That's the blessing. And so it says in Scripture, you lead a generous life. You bless ministries. You bless other causes. Oh, not only will your needs be met, but blessings will come. It just may not always be financial. Ignore any pastor that says the other, that it will always be financial. It's a picture that's clear. Number 5, our wealth has a purpose. Right? Our wealth. So if you lead a life, if you're a follower of Jesus and you lead a life of biblical generosity, it means that your wealth has a purpose. There's something deeper going on here. You see, he reminds the believers in Corinth that their wealth is being given to them for a reason, to bless others. It's being given to them for a reason, to bless other people. This is what it says in verse 11. You will be made rich in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. Do you hear that? He's telling the people in Corinth that have money and they're wanting to hold it. You will be made rich in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. This is so backwards from how we're wired to think, that our money is to bless others. No. Like we get a raise, we want some more stuff, right? Did you know that every single day, like multiple sources say the same thing, every single day, the average American observes 6,000 to 10,000 ads every day. You're just bombarded, right? You're bombarded, like we don't even notice, right? But every day we're being shown some logo, shown some ad on social media, on the drive here, like in any sort of publication that we read. It's just constant. It never stops, and we don't even notice it. We go to 7-Eleven, and right there is like 10,000, right? Just different things that we see. And they're all basically saying the same thing. Spend your money. Spend your money. Make yourself happy. You need this. Right? Have you ever bought something that in that moment, you just needed this? And then all of a sudden, give it a month, and it's like, I don't even want to use this anymore. But in that moment, like the advertising worked, right? You got to keep up with the Joneses. It worked. And this is what we're told every day. And Paul flips this upside down. He's like, no. No, your wealth, the money that you have, it's been given to you for a reason, and it's not nicer stuff. We hesitate towards this. We don't like this. He says it's to bless others. God's been generous to us, so we can be generous to others. And I know the reality here. I know most of us would say, well, I'm glad I'm not rich. I'm glad I'm not wealthy. Stinks for those people. But the reality is, we are. We are wealthy. Right? If you haven't got your free resource, this is the book we're kind of working through in this series. It brings up a few. Let's see. Many of us, this is the quote right here. Many of us got in our car this week and drove to a restaurant 6 different times. We were a little put off that we had to wait 5 minutes. Down. Else brought it. When we were finished, up after us, and while we got into our door open to a house built just for the car, most of us have even 3 of these. Some of us has so much stuff that we don't even have enough room for our car in the car house. We then walk into our house that is set at 72 degrees no matter what the temperature is. At some point, we will go to the bathroom, but not in an hour. Use the bathroom in our house. We will then push a lever, and everything will disappear, right? And if we don't thank God for that, that's not how it is in the rest of the world. Like that. After we've emptied our belly of its stuff, we then get a snack that is built just for our food. If the first house for our food doesn't have anything in it, we go to the second house for our food that is in the car house.